and we are back for our last session of the day. Good friend Jordan Owens. Jordan, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, how are you, David? Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be with you guys. My name's Jordan Owens. I'm the Vice President of Architecture for Pexip. I've been with the company for a very long time and in the industry for even longer, and really just looking forward to having a conversation with you.
Yeah, and Jordan, we did the thing where we purposely did not plan out what we're going to say. We did chat yesterday, but we
That's
didn't
right.
come up with a script. We don't even have an outline. I don't even have a single question for you because every time we talk for hours and say we could have recorded this whole thing. So let's just get into it. The real reason, well, the real reason I want to talk to you, so our talks are always great, but the real reason I wanted to talk to someone from Pexip is because Pexip has a pretty unique relationship with your customers. You guys are, very partner driven, very service, very much about helping your customers,
Yeah.
handling your customers. So I feel like you guys know what your customers are doing. And with everyone using video now in new and different ways, I thought if, this event is about how video is saving us somewhat, making our misery a little bit less than it would be with the pandemic, you would have some great things to share from us, from what you're seeing about the use of video in these times.
Yeah, to your point, David, I mean, we're seeing organizations use video in ways that you would never imagine. I mean, certainly there's the use cases of maintaining business continuity. We have customers that are massive multinational organizations where now video is the cornerstone for any type of a survivability conversation, whether they need to close an office because of a pandemic or because of a hurricane or because of an earthquake or whatever the case may be. Now it's all about video and how do they use video to support the way that they do business. A lot of organizations using it within a B2C type of a conversation. So maybe it's something around home health care. Maybe it's something around connecting individual consumers with their bankers. Those types of conversations, interviewing, all of those types of conversations that you can imagine emerge and grow and are supported in this type of a conversation is certainly something that we see a lot of. But I think to me, the most interesting conversations are the ones at how organizations have used video to enable the human element, right? How have they allowed people who normally interact? Well, I'm here in the office. Funny, we're talking about a pandemic and I'm taking the conversation from an office, but I'm here in an office that's empty. There's nobody else here. Normally there would be 25, 30 people in the office, and I'd have the ability to interact with them every day and have social conversations. Now that's missing. And as a part of that, the culture of an organization, the human element of that organization has somewhat become a void. And organizations are now using video to support that. Video windows. So our support team, for example, has a video window that's up 24/7 that they just sit connected into, and they come in and out of it throughout the day. And if they need to go onto a customer call, obviously they drop out, or they're ending their day or whatever, they drop out, but they join into that so that they all remain connected and they feel connected to their coworkers. We do all kinds of things like paint by number over video or something along those lines. How do we use video to maintain the connectivity of the human element within an organization? And as a result of that, keep the culture going that makes us who we are and why we all like to work here. And obviously that's replicating itself all over the place.
Yeah, it's so interesting for me to see because Let's Do Video has been a completely remote company since its inception, and we've tried out different things. And because the world was not remote, the world was going to an office and we were remote, I always felt like maybe some of this is a little bit silly. I wasn't sure if I'm doing it the right way, but it worked. Like one thing we do, one person on my team in particular, Anna, we like to do something we call video tomatoes. There's a productivity technique called Pomodoro productivity. Pomodoro is the name for those old kitchen tomato timers. And the idea is you set it for 25 minutes and you work, and then you take a 5-minute break. And then you set it for another 25 minutes. And it changed your mind to think, if I'm scared of starting that project I have to start, it's only 25 minutes. I'll just do a little bit of it. And you really get things done that way. But we do what we call video tomatoes. We get on video with each other. We reduce it to a thumbnail. We put it in the corner and we mute. And that way when I'm working and I'm like, I'm tempted to just stop and watch TV, I see Anna and she has her working face on. You know what? If she can do it, I can do it. And I keep working. And at first we did it as a productivity thing. but now we do it as a social thing. It's
That's
lonely
it. Yeah.
sometimes. I see on his face. I have a friend. She's a coworker, but she's also a friend. And we're not talking to each other. We're working. And we don't do this every day. It would be ridiculous. She doesn't want to see my face every day when she's doing her work. But it sounds like you guys are doing some similar things, and it kind of validates what I've been doing. So it's really working for you. I mean, you get to work with Carl, one of my favorite people. Is it you still seeing him on video, and it satisfies that Carl need?
Well, so I now have to make the joke of, one of the nice things about everybody working from home is now I only see Carl in snippets throughout the day instead of throughout the entire day. But, Carl, as you watch this, I'm joking. Anyway, but it does work. And to be super candid, I was extremely concerned about, as everybody just immediately evacuated and went to work from home, how are we going to maintain what's so special about here in the Herndon office? And I think we've done a good job to do it. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait for the day that everybody comes storming back in and we get to sit at the coffee bar or grab lunch or whatever the case may be. I can't wait for that day. And I think we're all very much in that type of a mindset of the return to normalcy is this thing that we can't wait to actually reach for and grab. But there is the idea of that middle ground. And yeah, video is absolutely doing it for us. I mean, we're fortunate enough to feel comfortable in front of video because it's what we've done for so many years. But it has filled that void. It's filled that gap for us. And it allows us to connect and just catch up for 15 minutes. Make sure that we're checking in on each other's families. Make sure that mental health is there. Check in on the dogs or the cats or the gerbils or the spouses or the partners or the significant others or the kids or whatever it may be. Connect to that human because we are all humans. Yeah, we're doing a job, but we're all humans, right? To your point, we're all friends. We're all connected to each other, and we need to maintain that connectivity for sure. It has absolutely filled that void.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have to learn as we go along. We've been meeting in offices for hundreds of years. We have all our conventions down. We have all our etiquettes down. We're going to have to figure it out for video. I've been in meetings where people do 30 minutes of catching up and how are the kids, and half the people are like, look, I got work to do. And I've been with some teams that are doing the opposite and just get to work, and it's like, well, hold on a second. How are the kids? Maybe the way we would handle it in real life is we're standing in the hallway waiting for the boss to show up. We talk about, sports and the kids, and then when the boss shows up and we sit down, we start the meeting. So maybe we need to come up with the video equivalent. Maybe we need to have a 5-minute hallway time when we start a meeting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's different for every company. Maybe just having pure social calls. At 2:00, we're having the water cooler call. No business. I don't know what's right, but I'm hoping that we'll figure it out. But social has to be a part of it. We can't just say, okay, everyone work at home. We're going to meet at 2:00 and just talk business, and people are going to get lonely. It's a reality.
Totally agree. It's I think oftentimes we forget that business is really nothing more than made up of a bunch of humans, and it's the human element of business that was what makes things so special. I mean, one of the reasons, just to be super candid, right? One of the reasons that I have and continue to work with Pexip has nothing to do with the product and the innovation and what we're trying to do. Don't get me wrong. I think we're doing some amazing things. We can get into a product pitch later. We're not going to do it today. We can get a product pitch later, and I can tell you about how what we're doing is absolutely changing the game. That's not the point. One of the reasons that I continue to work here and will continue to work here is for the people. And to your point, it's not about meeting with the colleagues, meeting with my coworkers and sitting down and getting right to work and getting a whole bunch of stuff done. It's about feeling who they are as a human, connecting with them as a human, understanding what's going on in their life. Are they buying a new house? Are they selling their house? Are they moving to a different apartment? Are they having children? Are they running into challenges, right? We all have problems. We all have bad days. Let's get together and let's talk about that. And let's try to get everybody on an upward spiral again. We have to maintain that human element as we go forward. And is that the 5-minute hallway conversation? Is that 20 minutes at the beginning of the meeting? Is that a virtual happy hour? Is that, it could be any one of a number of different things. I don't know what the right answer is, and I don't know that there is a right answer. But we have to maintain this connectivity of humans, and we have to recognize that we're all in this together.
Yeah. And you know what? That brings up a bigger point. And again, it's all day I've been saying, I hate to say that something good came out of this because it's really been a terrible, terrible year. But it is a good thing that, and this is something we've talked about before, is it's okay to be human on video now. I used to be two people. I was regular David, who likes music and has a cat and sometimes forgets to unmute his mic and might cough or might sneeze or say dumb things. And I was David Maldo analyst who ties his hair back and looks professional and is very prepared and sounds like he is reading off of a script. And that's who people, companies like you used to hire to do webinars and whatnot. They wanted presenter man. And I don't think people want that anymore. They still want my knowledge. I still got to do my homework. I can't just stop doing the homework and just show up and be funny. I still need to be an analyst and do the work, but they want David. And that's why I did not have a script today. I'm talking off the cuff. I'm a little scared that I'm going to not know what to say next, but that would be a human moment and it's okay. And I think that's part of why it's not just the presenters. It's not just live events like this. It's everyone on video all the time. We used to be scared just for that sales meeting with our sales team. Now we can go into the meeting room and sit next to them all day, but then you have to get on video with the same people. Time to button up, make sure the cat's out of the room. No, we don't have to have a split personality anymore. You don't have to be regular David and video David. You could be a human being all the time. And if you mess up when you're on video, you're not going to get fired anymore. You used to feel like that. You're going to be on video today. You've been preparing this for weeks. Now we just live 100%. On video.
100%. And I even go back to that time, and I can't remember the gentleman's name that was given the interview on BBC, right? And his kids run into the background and and somebody came in running in. I think it was his wife came running in and was grabbing the kids out, and she was all embarrassed and he was embarrassed. And it was this disaster of an interview, or at least at the time it was viewed as a disaster of an interview. That's a standard Tuesday now. And to be candid, like you, I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that we recognize that this is going on or that's going on, or somebody runs in, or a dog's barking in the background, or a cat's meowing, or a cat jumps up on my shoulder, or anything like that. And it's proven true not only in standard business, but even in newscasts, right? I was watching the weather before I came into work this morning, and the weather lady had her cat up on the couch. The cat was sitting on her lap as she was petting him or her when the weather report started. And then she picked the cat up, put it on top of the couch, gave the weather report, cat's in the background. It was awesome, because this isn't about always being polished and always being perfect and having the tie knotted in the right way and the dimple has to show up like this and all of that type of stuff. This is about trying to deliver material, trying to be productive, trying to do everything that it is that we're paid to do and that we want to do and what we want to deliver, but do so in our way with our spin on it and our view of that, and allowing this little window into our lives so that we can all feel a little bit more connected.
Yeah, even before the pandemic, I was using that example in presentations. A lot of time I get, when you do a lot of webinars, sometimes you wind up doing webinars on how to do webinars. So I've been doing a lot of how to present presentations the last year or so. And I have a slide on that event because that really stuck with me. And it wasn't that, he should have, locked the door so his kid didn't come in. No, he should have acted like a human being when his kid came in. If he had just said, it still would have went viral. That was going viral no matter what, because that little kid was the cutest little girl. The way she didn't walk into the room, right? She danced her way into the room. But it would have been a lot less viral if he said, I'm really embarrassed, but hold on one second. Let me take my child out. Honey, daddy's working. You need to go outside now. Let's go back to the interview. Maybe it might have gotten a few 100,000 clicks. Maybe we would have seen and heard about it, but it wouldn't have been like it was. But it was so viral because he didn't act human. He was like this, and he was like this. At one point, he stiffs arms. He does this awkward angle, right in the middle of it. He does a stiff arm. And I'm trying to figure out, why is he so awkward and everything? And I make this joke in my presentations. He acts like he's glued to his chair. Why didn't he just get up? Why is he acting like he's glued to his chair? And what I say is, my theory was, I don't think that guy was wearing any pants. Sorry. Now, and
well placed. That's brilliant. But I agree.
He looked like he wasn't wearing pants. And I used to say for a while, one of my tips was when you're giving a webinar, wear pants because that might happen to you. And then I saw a later interview with him and someone actually called him on it and he says, I swear I was wearing pants. I had an event earlier in the day. I was still wearing the same suit. It wasn't that. Okay. But he wasn't acting like he was wearing pants. So my advice changed. My advice isn't wear pants. My advice is act like you're wearing pants. You're a person. You're a human being. You have children. They walk in the room. Don't act like a robot with the stiff arm saying, let's keep talking about the foreign policy issues and pretend there isn't a child here. Be a person. And now that we're all free to be that, it should be a lot less scary to be on video. Now, do we get that because we're video people, or are your customers getting that?
Customers are getting that. Everybody's starting to get that. I was on a call with a customer from home the other day, and my daughter ran into the office and had something for me to say. And I mean, to be super candid, I picked her up. I set her on my lap while I was in the conversation with the customer, and the customer actually stopped the meeting, flat out stopped the meeting, and started to engage with my daughter. Ask her what her name is. How old is she? What grade is she in? Is she going to go back to school in person or virtually? What type of a system are they using to go back to school? Who's her teacher going to be? Is she looking forward to going back to school? What has she done this summer? All of the things that you would expect if I ran into a colleague at the grocery store, what they would ask, or if I ran into a colleague at a driving range, what they would ask, or whatever the case may be, they asked about them in person. Because all of a sudden, yeah, we're here to talk about work, and yes, we'll get back to work and we'll do all the right things and all of that kind of stuff. But how do we actually drive that conversation in the right direction? How do we actually drive the attention in the right direction and focus on what's really important, which at the time, that was my daughter sitting in my lap, and they wanted to know more about her because they work with me. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Does everyone? No, not necessarily. Are there people that certainly are the exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. There's always an exception to the rule. But yeah, for the most part, people get it.
Yeah. 5 years ago, that might have cost you a sale. This person is so unprofessional, they can't control their children. I'm canceling my account.
5 years ago? I don't.
3 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah.
A year ago.
Now,
Now it's normal.
Not just normal. I don't think that just didn't hurt you. I think that helped you. I think that humanized you. Now you're not just a company that provides a video service. You're a company that provides a video service with Jordan, the guy with the cute kid. If anything, that customer is more likely to renew. And I'm assuming your daughter is going to get a commission.
No. And in fact, let's strike this from the record, because if she happens to be, not that she will, but if she happens to be watching this, I don't want her to even put that into her mind. So no, not going to happen.
All right. But it sounds to me like she made the sale, so I don't know.
Remind me not to have you meet her.
No, but this is great, and it really does show. I mean, honestly, I want to do business with human beings, and that's been part of my business model from the beginning. I want to be fun to work with. Sure, I can write a white paper as good as any other analyst, but at the end of the day, you guys are sponsors, and I hope it's not just because David is smart and he writes the good white papers, but because last time we worked with David, it was fun. He's a friend.
No, exactly, right. And it's the old adage that people buy from people, and a lot of people look from the perspective of they want to put on the hard sale and they want to get you to convert. And yes, we all want everybody that we talk to be able to convert. That's just reality. But I want you to convert because you want to convert. I don't want you to convert because I put on a hard sale, right? I'm with you. It's how do we work more with people and enjoy the relationship that we have with our customers, our vendors, our partners, everybody that we work with. I can't say it enough.
Yeah. I mean, we need to work with people because we need the services, but if we're meeting with them on video and we have a human connection and someone we like to work with, that whole work life, line becomes a lot more blurry. It becomes a lot less painful to work. It's just something we do.
Exactly. And we all spend way too much of our time working anyway, right? So we might as well enjoy who we work with as much as what we do.
Yeah. And that starts with actually seeing them as people and being human on video.
Correct.
I think that's a great way to wrap up the day. I want to thank everyone who watched. We will be doing this again, and we're going to encourage you guys to participate way more in the chat. I want to interact with the chat. We're going to have we're going to try to have some giveaways and fun things going on next time. And I'm saying next time because we will be doing this again. Thanks to Jordan and all of our other guests. This has been a really fun day. And please follow us. Anyone with any questions about Pexip, where should we go?
Our website, Pexip.com, Twitter @Pexip Inc. You can reach out to me as well. I'm just Jordan at Pexip.com. So feel free. Would love to engage.
Thanks so much, Jordan. And thanks everyone who participated today, everyone who watched. This has been a lot of fun. Take care.